Welcome to Lama Live, Thursday, August 23rd, as the sun sets here after a magnificent day out on the bike. It's been a brilliant day. The sun is finally coming back to Victoria, Australia. We're southern Australia, so northern Australia, it's beautiful weather all the time anyway. You see that on the postcards. Southern Australia can get a bit cold, has been a bit cold, but today it was magnificent. Von, how are you doing?
Good. We have seasons. That's what we have. They don't really have seasons.
Yeah, up north there's the wet
Tropical.
season and dry season.
Yeah.
It's currently the dry season going into wet season as it becomes our summer down here. Anyway, enough geography, more bikes. So today for my ride it was outside. We had the ferroaciomas on with the stages left, right, and a lot of time I'm told, you know, all your testing indoors is a little artificial. Well, it was time to test outdoors, and test I did. I found a pothole.
Nice.
There, real world. It was bigger than my, I'll put a photo of the pothole up. It was bigger than my bike. And I did some testing over top of the pothole, including jumping cameras and things like that. Then I ended up at a castle on the side of an old volcano. It's kind of weird. My Instagram today, it was from last night. I put up a little story there. Last night I was riding with 300 virtual people online, all on ergos from all around the world, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
On Zwift. Hump day ride, Wednesday nights. And then the very next morning, I'm out riding an extinct volcano at a castle.
Let's set context. It's not like a Euro castle that we're talking here. It's like an Australian representation of something that may have been medieval.
It's a tourist attraction, medieval castle. They're real cobblestones I rode over riding up to the thing, though.
It's a bit of concrete that's being mushed into.
Come on! Next thing you're going to tell me why Topia doesn't exist. Bloody hell. Okay, so that was a bit of fun. But first of all, we'll start off.
Oh, and my ride this morning.
Von's ride this morning wasn't Watopia, what was on London?
It was London reverse.
Yep.
So
London reverse.
That was good. That was good. I did a workout number 9 for Zwift Academy.
Okay, how far are you going in Zwift Academy at the moment? How's things? Give us an update.
I'm over 70% now.
Dang.
I've managed to unlock the 3rd item.
And the 3rd item being, come on, give us a hint, because I'm not quite there and I probably won't get there. 3rd item.
Gloves.
Gloves.
Yeah.
Anybody who's rode Alp to Zwift is going to be very disappointed with another set of gloves. They've got 25 sets of gloves in their back pocket. Are they Zwift Academy style gloves?
Yeah,
is there
yeah.
ZA, like a bikey gang?
You'll be able to see them. I'll give you a photo.
Zwift Academy or something like that on the... All right, we'll
ZA for life.
You've got a photograph of that we can put up
Yep.
here? Excellent. Not sure if I'll do a deal with it meme though, like we did with the sunglasses. Awesome stuff. Okay, today's something different.
Yeah.
Something I rarely get from viewers, and I do appreciate this. Mainly it's from companies and manufacturers who want me to talk about products, which is kind of cool. It's always mail time at home. I'm under FedEx home, call it home arrest, house arrest, when I've got to wait for FedEx to come or they won't deliver the items. But I have mail time from Canada.
Awesome.
So, Brian from Forks Bicycle Shop in Erin, Ontario, in Canada, knows that I love a free hoodie or a good hoodie.
You do indeed. And t-shirts.
I'm currently wearing a free hoodie that I got at the Zwift offsite, so if you're a viewer of the channel, you know that I love a free hoodie. I've had a sneak peek. Von hasn't seen these yet. Von hasn't seen that I got some Smarties either. I've already. So thanks for the Smart. I've already eaten.
Oh. That's okay. I only like M&Ms, peanut M&Ms.
Well, we know the place to go for good peanut M&Ms. More on that shortly. So, a couple of stickers here. So, Forks Bike Shop. Brian's a follower of the channel, has been for a while. So, Forks Bike Shop. Thanks, Brian.
Welcome, Brian.
And a note and some treats from Canada to say thank you for all the amazing content. Keep it up. Brian, the owner of Forks Bicycle Shop in Erin, Ontario. P.S. You joked about enjoying a cheap hoodie. Well, from Canada, there goes. A cheap hoodie and also a cheap camera stand, which just fell onto my feet again. More on that in a moment.
That's awesome.
Somebody said I got to get a suction cup for it. Why
Yeah.
I know. It's just more things to buy. I'm trying to cheap out a little bit. Hasn't happened just yet. So, sorry to distract you from mail time, but we have, along with...
I've been to Canada.
I haven't. I look forward to it because I will go. We have, oh
That
yeah.
is amazing.
I have a t-shirt. That's awesome. That's very 70s style. It's got the little, I've got to ride around my BMX with that. That's very cool. So I got a t-shirt to wear. That'll be coming up in a couple of days when it gets a little warmer. But here it is, the hoodie. Yes, I do love a free hoodie, or I do love a cheap hoodie. So I've got this one. I've also got the Gap one with the USA flag that I picked up over there for $20. It was cheap.
That's cheap, yeah.
It's a good hoodie. I love that hoodie. What we have here though, a little bit of competition for the USA one. We have a Canada hoodie. And I think that's my size. We're going to find out right about. Perfect fit. Don't ask how hard that was to put on in the car without taking my seatbelt off. I felt like a butterfly turning back into a grub, back into its skin. But anyway, it fits perfectly. So thanks, Brian, for all that. Much appreciated. Expect to see this one on pretty much every video I do from here on in until it needs to go into the wash. Another 3 or 4 weeks will be good. So there's mail time. I do appreciate it. I have had a few things here and there sent over. We had a couple of Lama bags.
Yeah, thank you.
No, it's good, and that's why Brian supported the channel, so I do appreciate that. Another way I ask people to support the channel that it's kind of a weird one or a bit different. It's not a Patreon. It's not a click here to subscribe. Well, click here to subscribe. That does help. One thing I do ask though, if you've purchased a product that you've seen me review here and you've had a good experience with it, tell someone. Just tell someone about it. Tell your friends. Tell me. Put a comment on if it's the Kickr Climb that you've got, which is now shipping. Let me know. Let me know how it goes. If you're having a good experience, tell Wahoo as well. Because a lot of companies deal with support tickets non-stop. That's the communication they have with their customers. It's just support ticket, support ticket, support ticket. And I don't think there'd be many support tickets. Well, I've worked in support for years and years. There weren't many tickets that came through that said, thank you so much. Have a great day. It was pretty much I'm going to kill you if this doesn't work. Probably not quite as dramatic as that. Sometimes they are. Literally, they are. So if you do have a product that you've seen on the channel here, that I've talked about, that I've referred you to, let people know. That's the best way you can support what I do, because if that's the case, and companies see that my experience is similar to what's happening out there in the field,
and tell them that GPLama sent you.
Tell them Lama sent you, for sure. The guy in the free hoodies. Happy days. So speaking of the Kickr Climb, it's now shipping here in Australia. It's about a year or so coming, so it's been a while. People are now getting them. And what we're seeing, I think 2 or 3 days ago, they started shipping here in Australia, and people are loving it.
Perfect.
So, good. That makes me happy. I'm always keen to see when a product that we've spoken about, we being myself, Ray, any other early adopters or early people get early access to these products and tell our experiences of these, because that's what we do. We tell our experience. It's not a sales pitch or anything that we're doing. It's like, here's what we're up to. Here's what it's all about. Here are the specs. Here's the price. Here's what it's like for us. And if it's the same for everyone else when these things start shipping, happy days. Happy days. Good stuff. So I'll keep a close eye on that. And again, let us know if you've got a Kickr Climb. See how you go. I think it's full of ups and downs. I can't, can I? We can't crack dad jokes.
That was so bad.
There's a few... Sorry, I'm in poor joke form from a few of the Zwift rides that we've been doing, these Zwift Academies that I've been involved with. Tim Searle, Bacon, who runs the Hump Day Ride, and many other rides. It's just poor jokes all around, but it's kind of funny. We get so tied up into cracking poor jokes or just poor banter. I think the other day I was doing a Zwift Academy ride, and it was something like, are you feeling comfortable? And it's like, no, I feel like a dog. I've just kicked my dog or something, and it's bitten, it's chasing. Someone mentioned dogs, and the theme became about the dog and like taking a dog for a walk, and we lost. Anyhow,
had to be there.
We went down the we went down the rabbit hole with that one, but it was like 50 minutes went like that. So yeah, the group chat stuff's pretty cool. I just wish Zwift had voice so we could really enjoy the banter on Zwift.
Yes and no.
And also a mute option. Maybe you may need a ride leader if you had a voice open for everyone, because there'd be a few people with screaming loud Le Mans having a great ride on the Le Mans, but just they'll be sharing it with everyone all the time. Speaking of Wahoo products, a lot of people are asking about how they retrofit the new silent belt to their old Kickrs. What's the upgrade path from the 1, 2, and 3? Kickr generations because the Kickr 18 and the Kickr Core are now silent.
There's got to be more to it than just a belt.
There is, and the answer to that is it can't be done. Everything inside is redesigned. The belts, it's just not going to happen at all. And even if you could or did that, then you'd have to recalibrate the thing. There's just a lot of work
involved. What would your power readings and that be like?
Exactly,
yeah.
It's just not going to work. I think the unofficial, and this is, I mean, Wahoo won't say this, but I will, as part of the community, and here's what I'd do. If you have a 1, 2, or 3 Kickr, and you're looking to upgrade to a silent Kickr, sell what you've currently got when the Core comes out, and go grab the Kickr Core. If you're looking at a 1, 2, or 3, because the Kickr Core is, again, review coming soon, better than a 1, 2, and 3, and it's quiet. So if you can sell your Kickr for, say, 80%, 75% of what you purchased it for, that's probably about the same price point as the Kickr Core. Happy days.
Get onto it.
So there's the answer to that one. No upgrade path on that one. Von.
Yes?
You test rode that bike we spoke about.
Woo! Maybe I did.
Maybe we went up a hill and the camera almost fell again.
Same reaction to the bike though.
Okay. It was good?
Yeah, I did a test ride of
so this was the
new tarmac disc with Di2 with this week, yeah, and I would have loved to have spent more time with it. Is that a nice way of putting it?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I pretty much only had an hour, and I think I had the best conditions and place to ride it, which was Q Boulevard in the rain.
Well, we're very familiar with Q Boulevard in the rain. We used to live only a few hundred metres from Q Boulevard.
Yeah.
We've actually raced that quite a bit. The Q time trial was around there, but it's a 6-kilometre stretch of road right effectively in the heart of Melbourne. It's kind of cool. It's along the river. It's pretty clear of traffic.
And it's rolling, so you actually got to have the out of the saddle feeling. You got to do some straights. You got to do some corners.
Yeah.
I did a couple of laps around the crit circuit, and that's there as well.
So you've raced that. Actually, the Hawthorn Crit's there. Yeah, we've raced there for years and years and years. So you know.
And it was interesting though, how much guts you had to put into the corner for the first time running disc brakes to try and do it. I chickened out both times. I took too much speed off. I was just like, okay. But it was wet as well.
In the wet. There's a hairpin corner there at Q. If it's wet, they don't run the races. It's that dangerous. I have planted some of my elbow on that corner.
Yeah, it's a hairpin into a hill climb, so that gives it a little bit more context. But it was great. It was a great opportunity to test ride it. It was fantastic. The fit, of course, is essentially the upgrade to my current bike. So currently run Di2 with a power meter.
Hang on. What? Sorry, you currently run?
I currently run.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's correct. Durace.
Uh-huh.
The bike I was running on the day was Di2.
Yes.
So that was the effective upgrade. And I currently run rim brakes, and the bike I was testing had disc brakes.
Yeah.
So those are the two major features. I also currently ride a tarmac. This is the new tarmac SL6.
Yep.
That's SL6, yeah.
Yep.
So that was fantastic. Same geometry, everything set up for me.
So it felt
the test
same.
ride.
It didn't feel all kind of weird.
Yeah, so I really had the effective test of what does electronic shifting really feel like, and what do disc brakes really feel like in both a dry and wet condition, because it changed during the ride.
Yep.
So that was fantastic. Yeah. Now I just need to sell this car to afford it.
I think the retail price there in Aussie dollars is about $13,000, $13,500. I won't let Von talk about the price tag because I'll tee off on this. That's absolutely ludicrous. The price of the technology that actually goes into these bikes, I think mostly the frame set, is it, Von? Oh, you can dig your own hole if you want, but this is my channel to dig my own hole and never get sponsored by a bike shop again or a bike store. Oh, Forks Bike, no, that's bike company, I mean. Look, $13,000 for a bike that makes cycling inaccessible. That makes cycling elitist, having that kind of price tag on things. That is absolute and 100%. Are you listening to me in the workplace? Turn the volume down. That's bullshit. Really, the technology that goes into these bikes. So it had a power meter?
Yes.
Okay, but it wasn't it's a 4i / S-Works.
New S-Works 4i.
Okay, cool. So I'd call that a mid-range power meter. We're not talking SRM.
No.
or something that.
They previously used to ship with Quarks in the earlier models of Tarmacs.
Okay, I'd include Quark. We've got Quarks in our bikes. They have been absolutely brilliant. The Quarks that we have, 5 years old, we can static weight calibrate them. They have been rock solid. Yeah, not for 13 grand. Actually, for 13 grand, I wouldn't even buy. And I haven't bought a bike. I've been looking for a bike for 3 years now. I saved up $5,500 Australian for my new bike when I came back from Perth.
Yep.
I've still got the money. Well, I haven't spent the money. I might not still have the money, but because I just cannot justify that kind of cost. So the frame set themselves, $5,000. There is not, absolutely not. There is, I guarantee you, not $5,000 worth of R&D, technology, backup support. That just gets me worked up.
That was the
price of,
S-Works
I don't give a
frame.
shit what bike it is. I'm sorry, not to discredit
Yeah,
you.
I'm
but
giving context to the
yeah,
discussion.
but man, the cost of those things.
It's going to slide off.
Whilst Giant can go out there and sell bikes, I mean, again, horses for courses, but they're going to have to prove to me that they are that much better for that kind of price. It says me with a house full of technology, which probably adds up to a lot more than that, but
Yeah, look, I pulled
I don't know.
apart the costings last night, right down to wheels and frame set and group set are the three most expensive things. So if you want to go cost,
breakdown, yep.
yeah, those are your three main things, and $5,000 being a price point for a frame. If you wanted to go, say, $2,500. That essentially is the price point for the canyons that you see online. So whether or not their frames and setups are the same,
Yeah,
I don't know, because I haven't really.
It's more of a
ridden them.
business model thing with a cost rather than actually what you're paying for. Canyon are a drop ship, aren't they? They ship them from the factory.
Yeah.
They don't touch them here. You can't test ride. You're paying here for bricks and mortar in Australia.
Yeah.
This is not a specialised rant. This is not an S-Works rant. I absolutely love my specialised. Catch this camera again. I was looking at a second-hand one. I'm browsing second-hand markets for bikes because that's more my price point. But there was an S-Works like Von's with SRAM Red mechanical on it today that I saw for $2,500. That's kind of my price point for a new bike. Though I'd buy someone else's second-hand bike as my upgrade.
Yeah.
Look, I guess at the end of the day, when a group set with a shit ton of technology in it, Di2, full group set, internal batteries, with D-Fly stuff or the wireless stuff they've got in there now, with firmware, you've got all the technology built into that. It's computers, goddammit. I can see the cost in that. I don't agree with the cost of that, but I can see the cost and the value in that and the ongoing support required. What else have we got? SRAM, ETAP as well. You're looking at what, $3,500, $4,000 for a group set for that. I can see the technology, the R&D, it's only new and all that sort of stuff. But when a piece of carbon fiber that's been manufactured hundreds of times, the ongoing support of that is zero. Look, let's be honest. There's no firmware updates on those frames. When a piece of carbon fiber put together, I don't know. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. You also work in a bike store and sell the things for profit. That's it. It's pure. Gets me worked up.
Yeah, and then when I was trying to price it up, it came down to wheel sets, and I was like, oh my god, talk about opening up a complete
Can of worms there.
Oh my god.
Carbon can of worms.
Yeah. Well, carbon alloy. Do I want to go for gravel? How deep do I want to go? I definitely want disc brakes, so therefore
This is what Okay, so on that, the Hunt wheels that we went for, which were what, $500-$600 Australian a set, they've been absolutely brilliant. And that's what I like, finding those kind of solutions that I agree with and I like. And I put it up on the channel, my experience with them, my follow-up on them, and even Von went and bought a set herself.
Yep.
Because they were value for money. That's what I see. I don't see the value in a $13,000 bike. And as you said, you were joking about the car, which flicked me off. That really is the case. And you think about the...
probably this car in front of us right here. There's a Renault Megane. I'd be interested to know how much that costs.
It makes me... Look, there's a limiter of cycling itself.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you don't have to buy one of those bikes. You don't have to buy one of those bikes, but if that's what everyone's riding around in, if that's what you see people riding in, and kids are coming into the sport and idolising their heroes riding those.
Yeah, look, don't get me wrong though. I was looking at top of the range. So there's other options. I can choose the Ultegra
Let's
Di2.
tee back off on that. Top of the range, and we're talking about a 4i power meter? Again, nothing against 4i. Let's call a spade a spade. They are not top of the line. They may work fine, they may be a solution, but they are not a proven performer over years and years and years. So it isn't as if S-Works have gone, let's go pick best of breed on everything and put it on this bike, and that's going to be our top of the range. They've gone, what's commercially best for us? It's a company thing. Again, S-Works, love your bikes.
Specialised, yes.
Anyhow, I think we've talked enough about bike price.
Right.
Speaking of bikes, and bikes I should look at, Interbike is close from happening. So I'm getting more and more emails as we lead up to Interbike, which is the American version of Eurobike. Because Eurobike happens, it's the world, and America say, let's do it American style. I think there's a lot of mountain bike stuff there as well.
Okay.
There is enough industry in America just to have their own big bike show, which it is. So Interbike in Reno, September, I think it's 17th through 19th, 20th, somewhere around there. I know that September the 19th is on my calendar for something or other. That's looking very, very likely at the moment. So if you're going to Interbike or you know somebody around Interbike or something for me to look at Interbike, let me know. Looking forward to it. Haven't quite locked it in, but as soon as I do, we'll be emailing back everyone who's emailing me about Interbike. So it should be cool. Other things on the go at the moment, I've ordered myself a Garmin Edge 1030. Vaughn's had one for a while.
So catch up.
So the Edge 1030 came out about a year ago. I call it a Fablet for your bike, a fat tablet, because it's quite large.
It's the unnecessarily large Garmin.
It's the Fablet for the bike. Mainly because I'm using so many data collection points indoors. So just to have another unit there that I can configure really easily. And I've seen how Vaughn grabs hers, navigates the menus. It's a year down the track in the firmware now, so I think...
Yeah, it's rock solid now.
There we go. So
For how I use it anyway.
I'm bleeding edge for everything else. So firmware updates for most things, except this GoPro, which the latest firmware is horrible for. We're on a reverse version of that. The Garmin's I do tend to really back off on. The 520 Plus. There's a lot of rumblings about the 520 Plus, so it's like, yeah, just leave that one for a while. I think the 1030 is now at a point where I can buy it and use it as a tool in the Lama lab to collect data from. So I've ordered one of those. It'll be coming in. It was meant to be doing the unboxing in the car. Didn't arrive. So there's not much more I can add in regards to technology-wise about the stats and specs of that unit. Links below to DC Rameka's article on that. Banter came out with their own version of it the other day. Yeah, weird one. Trek have rebranded. They've just rebranded a 1030 and called it the Bontrager GPS.
Shitting?
No, I'm not shitting at all. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of like Kleenex doing toilet paper, but also doing, I don't know, socks or shoes.
No.
Yeah, same shit.
So it's like a Nike Garmin.
Or even better, yeah, exactly
Yeah.
that. I was going to say, it's my Nike Apple Watch. It's exactly that's an Apple Watch, but it's the Nike Apple Watch.
Yeah.
So Bontrager are doing the 1030. I've just gone and got the normal 1030.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes. I use my maps on descending quite a lot.
Oh, the maps. You're going to love it.
There you go. So if I'm bombing a descent with a hairpin, I've done a few videos on that, I'm sure, way back, about descending flat out through corners, knowing what tightens up. So to have that big map on the screen, we'll see how it goes. Navigation-wise, I don't use a lot, though I did use the navigation on the 820 over in Perth the other week. That was kind of cool, putting someone's address in and it took me straight to their address on the head unit. You can do that with the elements on your phone, but I could just do it straight on the head unit. That was pretty cool. So we'll see how that goes. What else? Live streams we've been doing on the GPLama channel have been going very well. The little mix desk that I got, which allows me to change the scenes and set things up all nice in OBS, it looks nice. I got a lot of good feedback from that. They're not for everyone, which is totally cool. But yeah, the engagement there, the conversations, the questions coming through, fantastic. I love just, the other night I jumped on for an hour, we lasted 2. So chatting with everyone there. I'm going to take this camera off. And yeah, some of the feedback from the last video was, Shane, get yourself a suction cup. I'm on it. This is the shorty that I went and got from after seeing Ray with one.
You're so suggestible.
Anytime Ray talks about GoPro stuff,
You're sold.
DC Rainmaker, everyone, Every time. So, well, for example, here we had the Hero 4 over in Adelaide the first year. We were caught up with Ray. He's like, no, go get the 5. It's got stabilisation. Went and bought the 5. Had the, the Session 4 to the Session 5. And the same with the Hero 5 to the Hero 6. That was this year. Went and got the Hero 6, which you're watching on right now. What else? Oh, and then Ray had the 3-way thing that he had that over in Adelaide. I'm like, I need one of those. He's like, yeah, go buy yourself one. And then the Shorty. Thanks, Ray. Links below to Ray's articles and coverage of these things. They're kind of handy to have. GoPro makes some good stuff. That's a third-party one. That's not actually a Shorty. It's a cheaper one from a third-party site. But does the job. Very handy. And that was what I bunny hopped today in the puddle.
Great.
You don't seem excited. It was dangerous. I could have been hurt.
Take care.
Takes a lot to get Von excited about bikes and things like that and doing mad stunts. She's not one to be impressed. Anything else coming up, Von? Sorry, we're bantering now.
Oh, so are we going freeform?
We're going freestyle. My sheet's done.
Your sheet's done?
My sheet's done. We've done all the topics.
Awesome.
Again, if you have any topics you'd like us to talk about, comment below.
Oh, yeah.
Happy to shoot the breeze. We'll do these more regularly now the sun's coming out and we're driving places, or maybe even from home during a live stream. I like bringing people news of what's going on, what's happening. Mm-hmm. And check this traffic out.
This is the standard end of day.
I'll show you from another angle here.
This is why I don't leave at 5 p.m. on a Friday. Or any day, actually. That's how bad the traffic is.
Wow. That's why we ride bikes a lot. As I was saying, if you have any ideas or anything for us, technology to check out, just general observations, let me know. Tweet, Instagram, email. I may set up an email address so I can get alerts sent through. That'd be kind of handy. Stay tuned on that one.
Yeah.
Because I like being across what's new, what people are talking about. I think I've got my finger on the pulse with Zwift. A lot. I've had all my fingers on the pulse with Zwift across all the groups and what's happening there. And but just generally what people are up to. And I'm also, my eyes are everybody who's watching. Given we're in summer soon, fingers crossed, everybody's going into a winter. Let us know how your ride's going. Let us know if you come across a bit of technology that's awesome and other people need to know about. Even the yesterday's video about the Element bolt covers. I didn't even know they existed. I was snooping around somewhere and I found them. I'm like, really? They make silicone covers for Element bolts? I knew they did them for Garmin's. So my video yesterday was more about, hey, check these out, they exist. Whether they're for you or not, didn't really matter. I went and ordered one to check them out, but there's a few comments that had the exact same response as what I did. So it's more just product awareness.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool. Because if someone orders something and has a better experience through something that I've let them know about, I am super happy. That makes me stoked. Because there's been so many times where someone's done that exactly for me and I'm like, I want to repay this back.
Well, one of the conversations I often have with other women in riding or commuting to work is that conversation of how do you remove the barriers to do it? Because it's such a really handy way to get kilometres in your day.
Yep.
Yeah. So what are the things that are stopping you from doing it? Is it to make sure you've got clothes at the end? Have you got another set of makeup there? Do they have facilities to do your hair so that you can feel to be your best person when you're at work? Those kind of things. Also, like, do you want to do a workout before you ride in as well? When I say workout, I'm talking about on the bike.
Hill repeats.
Yeah. So would you take a backpack or something like that with you? Or do you have other changes of clothes at work and leave your laptop there the night before so that you know that you can have everything prepped and ready to go? Do you have options for breakfast in at work and that kind of stuff? So just planning it out and talking out what are your barriers to stop you from getting out on the bike and getting into work.
Awesome. There was, I think GCN just did a city commuters tips or something video the other day.
Really?
So we can't, I was going to say we should do a video on exactly that because we've commuted for years and years.
Years.
Maybe we should do that from Von's sake on things.
Yeah, you want to commute to Melbourne with me?
When's Ride to Work Day?
October. Oh, you're coming with me on disc brake bikes.
I'll let the comments decide. Do I ride to work with Von on that day? I think it starts at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Why?
4:30? What time did you start?
We'll plan it out.
Yeah, it was 4:30. She doesn't want to admit it. All right, comments below. Should I ride to work with Von that day? I'm not riding home. It's 130 Ks. It's a long way.
Do you remember last year?
I didn't do it last year, but I remember the story of last year where
No,
you rode with...
where you picked me up at the end to bring me home.
No?
Because we were still living in Thornbury, and I was absolutely wrecked. You actually made me ride from the city back to Thornbury.
Oh, before we went back to Ballarat?
Yeah.
Because we had the two places because we were going from one to the other.
Yeah. That was painful. I remember that much.
That's awesome that I picked you up. I think one wants to return the favour. Happy days.
We'll get the train on the way back.
I think that's the case. We'll have to do that. There is a train to Melbourne to Ballarat. Sometimes the bike is even faster. It's a good ride though. It's
a great ride.
There's some good routes. It's just a
Yes.
long way.
130, you could do that.
Yeah. We'll get that done. We'll knock it out.
At my pace.
I'm gonna have to train up for that. Speaking of training, Von, just back onto the Zwift Academy stuff again. The camaraderie with the women in the women's groups, because they've split it. They've split the men's groups and the women's groups. Even I can't join the women's groups, and you can't join the dudes.
No.
How's the women's rides going with all the women?
The women's rides have been great. I've completed 2 races now. I've completed 3 group rides, I think, and I've completed 8 of the workouts.
Damn.
I've been doing majority of the workouts as group workouts, and I have to say that I am completely sold on group workouts now. Completely, because you see some of these things that you're going to do, you think, oh yeah, that'll be a good workout, 1 hour sesh, whatevs. And then when you actually get to do it, you're like, this is a killer session.
If you're suffering with others, you can make it a little more
Absolutely,
tolerable.
yeah. When you're suffering with others, it makes such a difference. And that's the comment that everyone's saying on the chats. When they're in there, they're like, so glad we're doing this together. You know, we can all do it, and you really encourage each other from, you know, just even from that camaraderie. It's amazing. Yeah, love it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now we get the same with the guys. There's a lot of banter. There's a lot of bloke talk.
So do you also have a Facebook group? Like we do in the women's?
I don't know.
Because I've been on that for
Speaking
years.
of me having the finger on the pulse with Zwift, no, I'm not sure of one for the men's. There may be. I think it's labelled. Here's me telling you that I'm not across it, and here I'll tell you that I'm across it. I think it's labelled the Dimension Data Zwift Academy. I think it's labelled Dimension Data. I'm not a part of that I'm aware of. I'm across the Zwift Riders though, which is across and a number of other little groups off to the side.
Yeah. So that Facebook group for the Kenyan SRAM Women's Academy is fantastic. So after women have completed some of their workouts, if they've had issues, they'll post up in there, or even just socialising and saying, you know, what do you do off the bike? There'll be chats and covering that. And
is it a women's only group, or you just find primarily women are in there discussing their rides?
No, it's women's only, I believe.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I know there's a women's ladies only group anyway.
Yes.
And I do support that because there's been instances in the past. Speed camera ahead. It just gets a bit creepy, and I won't dance around the fact that it's like
There's some creepy guys out there.
Guys, don't be creepers.
Sorry.
Don't be creepers. I've seen that before.
Yeah. And that's been a safe place for women to discuss it, I have to say.
That's it. And again, breaking down the barriers, you want to feel safe online. And I mean, these are adults we're talking about, yet some of the,
So another thing around the community for Zwift Academy, and we discussed it in our group ride during the cool down today, was that the age group for the Women's Academy for the riders that we've been seeing have been 30 plus. 30-year-old plus women.
Yeah, they're not doing it for the graduation side of things. And I think
they're doing it for the achievement. They want to graduate, absolutely.
Oh, sorry, not to actually become a professional. I think that message has gone completely. Yeah. The first year, it was all about that. Who's going to turn pro? Who's going to turn pro? That's not new and fresh anymore. Of course, someone's going to be picked and turn pro. Great. That's actually now the side show. Yeah. The main show is everybody being provided with professional level coaching in a group environment with incentives, with unlocks on a regular basis they can click on. There's management around it. You can see which workouts you've got to do within the app.
Yeah.
This is, I think Zwift Academy has nailed it in regards to it's a Zwift supported event or thing to do. And we see that with Tour of Oz was huge.
But even on top of that, right, though, the one element that you've missed is the connection with today's plan. And I thought that was not a big deal until I saw the discussion around that people are actually now seeing more of the analytics of their ride and the output and outcomes of this training. Now, a lot of them don't have their past history in today's plan because they might be using Strava or other things like that. Or, there's many other competitors anyway. You'll see them in the links for Zwift, but they're able to measure their performance benefits from this training. It's amazing.
Okay, now I wasn't across that because for me, I've done the analytics thing for years and years, racing and training and chasing CSS, TSB, CTL, FTP, you name it, all that. For me nowadays, it's about still riding hard, but just enjoying the bike and not being overloaded with numbers. So I guess that's my focus on that. So that's a very good point that people are now being exposed to, what we went through 10 years ago, many years ago, with like WKO4 and things, that people were bringing their knowledge up to what do these numbers mean, what do they do, how can they utilise them.
So the benefits of structured training, they're able to see and measure.
You can quantify them as well. You can feel
from today's.
You can feel faster, you can feel fitter, you can lose weight, but when you see it in numbers, you're like, that's the reason why you're getting faster. Okay, cool. Did that totally slip my mind? Because for me, it's about the enjoyment of the experience. And I'm so focused on that rather than revisiting stuff that I've done in the past, which was it's over-analysing things and taking the fun away. Because as soon as you see those numbers go down, or you're not hitting the numbers you'd have in the past as an athlete, you start ignoring them. It's like, okay, cool. Never even thought of that. That's why we've got you on the show. Thanks for coming along. We'll call it a day there. Anything else to bring up on?
I was just going to take credit for the burnt toast
the
video.
The unhappy bread?
Yeah.
The unhappy bread.
That was another one of my Zwift Academy rides.
Tell us a story about that, because I WTF'd and then I made a video about it because I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So that was part of the...
That was one of the Zwift Academy group rides where we had an opportunity to ask questions of the ride leader, and that was one of the questions, so it was really good. And
the question being, what does the unhappy bread mean?
Yeah.
And when Von said that to me...
I tried to test him to see if he knew exactly what I was talking about.
So it was my, what the... unhappy. I love, and I think I said it in the video that I made on that because I thought that was a brilliant Zwift tip.
It is.
That
the thing is, it provides no functionality in game. It's just like a little, literally a bell and a whistle.
I'm toast.
Yeah.
That's all it says. It just says I'm toast to people in the immediate vicinity.
Yeah.
But having been on Zwift for 3 years now plus, we took it for granted. Also, being in our vernacular, I'm toast. We know what that's, that's just
it's a cycling term.
It's a thing. It's just, yeah. I like it. I like that outside thinking or that outside idea of, people might not be across that.
And that's what diversity brings.
Yes.
Right? So you bring people that are just into fitness, want to try it out, or, or women riders that haven't ridden inside before.
Yeah.
So they get presented with a new interface. They're like, what the hell does this mean? Now, talking about interface, I'm going to go on a rant one day.
Oh, we're going to call it quits. We're going to call it quits on the show.
No, I said
we're going to call it. Did I save it?
I'm not going to talk about it today.
Okay. I'm a bit worried.
It's about the erg mode on/off button. I hate the user interface for that.
So let me explain. Let me explain how
you don't
simple.
Have to
no,
explain
let me explain. I need to explain. So most of my explaining is so I understand it because I need to get it correct, and then it's just reciting things to myself. I watch my own videos so I can understand things. What's so difficult about being in erg mode with the erg mode button saying erg mode on? It says erg on, and then when you press erg on, of course erg goes off when you press erg on. Straightforward. What's wrong with that? Confusing?
I will let you troll the Facebook forums on all of the arguments on this.
I'm taking the piss. It's horrible. There needs to be, like with a light switch, it's pretty easy, on or off, there's a light switch. With erg, there's erg on or erg off, but it shows the current state, not the current... It's
the desired state or the current state? Which is it showing?
The button shows, I believe, the current state, but the desired state... But even then, we've currently got some Bluetooth issues and things like that. Oh, God. I know. This is a hard one.
Yeah.
It needs to be simplified. There needs to be a think tank. There needs to be a shark tank, is it the word? Where someone comes in with a bloody good idea to show us how erg mode is either on or off. I hope somebody's sitting there nodding, watching this, going, I know exactly what you guys are talking about. I know it, yeah. If not, it'll be fixed sooner. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It's complex. It's complex.
I think we leave it there then.
We do. How about those $13,000 bikes?
One day.
Alrighty, as we head over the Westgate Bridge here, and as the sun is just about to set, summer is coming. We cannot wait. And yeah, lots more coming up on the channel. So again, thanks to Brian for the nice warm top. It'll get a few more weeks use. I'm here, I'm sure, with our cooler weather. And as I said before, you want to support the channel, let us know the experience that you've had with anything that I've talked about, let the companies know as well, and just enjoy the ride. Thanks for coming, Von.
Thank you.
See you soon.